did you not find that the last couple of weeks have been the most challenging? Yes? No?
Personally, I did find
How,
that
Ariana?
the fact that you're not into the newness of it anymore, that it is actually serious, and there's only you to action what's going on.
Is life without flour worth living?
Well, that's what I had to debate with myself, Leslie, and I came to the conclusion that yes, it is.
Oh, great. No, but we become so attached to stuff like that. How are you finding your weights now?
Just don't meet me in a dark alley. Oh, I can live my life.
Well, I had my appointment with my ophthalmologist, eye specialist, and it's been seeing me, in the last while every 2 months because the pressure behind my eyes was getting worse. I went in on Monday and did the test, and he was just absolutely thrilled, and I don't need to see him for the next 9 months.
It wasn't until the end of the third week that I really noticed something. I'd come off a pretty rough week, the Thursday being a rough one, the Friday being one from hell, and I started work at 6 in the morning, I finished sometime after 7 at night. Signed off, walked out the door, and I felt great.
I'm up, exercise a lot, because I've got a triathlon to do next week, so I'm exercising heaps, and I certainly don't lack for energy.
Great, because you were very concerned in the beginning about shifting from a real high carbs way of living, because that's what you have always been told is the way that athletes need to get their energy, but you found that you actually have more energy, do you?
I wouldn't say more, but I've certainly got no less. Yeah, I was really concerned about that. No, there's certainly no less.
The changes the group report, Leslie puts down to reversing the symptoms of Syndrome X and shifting the insulin resistance which goes with it.
Insulin is the hormone that makes it possible for you to carry the energy from your food out of the bloodstream into the cells themselves where you can burn it, where you can use it. Many people in relation to looking at aging think it's the most important hormone we have. And what happens is our bodies, from eating high levels of carbohydrate for a long period of time, become insulin resistant. It also means that when you need energy, you don't have it because you eat the food and the energy is there, but your body's turning it into fat. Some people, they will have other symptoms from it instead. They will have the furring up of their arteries, for instance. They will have a high blood pressure. They will have, again, an inability to call on energy in a steady way.
We tend to think that we've got to start doing something about it in our 40s. When we see our friends getting these things, we think, we've got to do something. But it starts a long time before that. It's the children we should be working with. From 1 in 5 children have a chronic illness, things like eczema, diabetes, cancer in children, arthritis.
The population of people in New Zealand over 65 is growing rapidly, and a recent government directive insists that there's going to be an awful lot of money that's going to need to be spent in the next 50 years to take care of these people. What do you think about that?
I think that's absolutely right, but I don't think there's going to be enough money, and I wonder why we can't do some decent prevention. The opticians, ophthalmologists are talking about children's eyes. They're saying that they're going to have a lot of children coming into their 20s and 30s who have reduced vision, partly because of diet.
The group remain enthusiastic about taking responsibility for their body and their health. Although Leslie's support has a lot to do with it, the program seems to be taking on a life of its own. Our test group are experimenting with cooking and socialising according to their new lifestyle.
You eat differently, but you eat well. That's what I like about it. I'm not a starvation sort of guy. It's called Mrs. Moxon's Lemon Posset.
Are you having a dinner party? Is that why we have so much?
Me.
Tell me about the black chili and olives.
I ask a lot of questions, ask them what the ingredients are, and basically make sure that there's no sugar in sauces or anything like that.
Sear it off with a little bit of butter, and then the sauce has got...
I've got, chicken nibbles, seasoned it with a bit of pepper, Mexican chili, tamari sauce. It's always a favourite. The children love it.
Leslie is a firm believer that nature provides anti-aging support as well, with plants that improve immunity and bring protection against free radicals, those renegade molecules. Her belief is reinforced by the traditional knowledge used by Pomari Riwaka. He belongs to the Tifano Kotahiora Complementary Health Group, skilled in using plants for their healing and nutritional properties.
This one's called the mamaku.
Mamaki?
Mamaku,
Mamaku?
yes. And we use the centre part,
The furry bits.
the fairy bit.
Okay.
Kawakawa, a traditional South Pacific plant, brings relaxation, aids digestion, and is used to treat many age-related conditions.
What is this in here? Oh, this kawakawa, is it ground up?
I don't like taking supplements. I think when they say we're getting too far away from nature, that taking pills has got to be taking you further away from nature. But I accept it, and I don't know much about nutrition, so I'm ignorant on what we're deficient on anyway. I use the supplements. Yeah.
Am I correct in thinking we have no selenium in our soils in New Zealand?
Very deficient in New Zealand, and it's been well proven. I always find it interesting that the farmers always seem to get this one right. You know, there wouldn't be a farmer here in New Zealand that doesn't know that they have to feed selenium to the animals, but they forget us. We do not get the nutrient value from our foods like our grandparents got. We know our soils lack a lot of minerals. If the minerals aren't in the soil, they're not going to be in the vegetable, and then the vegetables and fruits are sprayed as well. I believe we are in an era of supplementation. It can offer the body more nutritional support.
Whatever your age, and whether you take supplements or not, slowing down the aging process takes some real commitment.
I think he was getting to the stage where he felt he wasn't working as well as he used to. He's always been very active. We're sort of in our 50s that you should look at, you need to look at your lifestyle. Youth is not on our side and you can't sort of cheat anymore.
Change occurs, I think, by taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps backwards, which is a good thing. When people go on to a program and then, say, as a lot of our participants have said in the beginning, oh, well, I did a sinful thing. I had a biscuit or whatever. I don't think there's such a thing as sin. I think you have to know what the experience is of having a good, strong, clean body, eating biscuits, and see how you feel. When people are happy the way they are, that's great. Let them be happy. An awful lot of people, though, have a sense that they have a lot of potential and that there are things they want to do that they feel inhibited from doing because they just don't feel well enough. What is so exciting for me is that the members of our group are learning for themselves not only to de-age their bodies, but how much personal power changing your lifestyle can bring.
During the 5th week, our group undergo the same tests that we put them through at the beginning of the experiment. The acid test coming up for Leslie and our group is whether or not the medical measurements will show any real biological age reversal.
I feel like I'm being marked. You're being marked. They're not boobies anymore, they're now gigantic man bubs.
And I have to hold it up with a pen these days. Just amazing, the difference. See a little bit of work with you think. I couldn't get it, past here.
What I hoped when we started is that the physical changes that would take place, improving their health and the way that they look, would have a profound effect on their own sense of self-esteem and energy and power. And that's exactly what's happened. It was such a gift, I can't tell you, to see it take place.
And here we are.
The adjustment.
We had expected at least 3 people to drop out under the demands of their lifestyle changes, but all 8 turn up for the tests.
Far more even bouts of energy through the day.
Rosie improved her cholesterol ratio and reduced body fat from 39 to 37, as well as losing 5.5 kilos in weight.
Nearly 30, down to 27.7. Fantastic.